And welcome back to Talk of Alabama. We've got longtime friend of the show, author, poet, and motivational speaker Marshall Pope. He's joining us now. And he's here talking about his 7th and 8th book.
Right.
And the 8th book, of course, the details on this new book came after a very tragic event. And tell us, I guess, the motivation about, I guess you said finishing your 7th book and also moving on to the 8th.
Right. I lost my son last year, July the 9th, 2015. Devastating, you know. It's a tragedy when any parent lose a child like that due to murder. He was shot in the back twice. And a month after that, I released Telalista. It's a Greek word that means it is finished, my 7th book. And it's like a poetic form of the Revelation, the book of Revelation. And I also released the 8th book. It's called Life After the Rebirth. I thought I was done when I wrote the 7th book, but God anointed my pen again and I filled it with holy ink, and here I am again, the 8th book.
Now you said, I guess God guided you, but what really inspired you most?
Losing my son and watching the news, seeing so many young men and, you know, so many deaths, so many young kids dying. It's like they don't value life anymore. It's
right.
it's like we done turned back to the days of Noah. It's like all we want to do is party. All we want to do is kill, you know, and it's sad, but it's true. And now we at a crossroad where we got to start educating these kids and getting them back into church, because a lot of kids don't go to church because we give them too much power. We give them a choice,
right,
whether they want to go to church or not. Back in the days, there used to be a time when
you didn't have a choice. Mama took you.
Kids was pulled out of bed on Sunday and took on the church.
Yeah.
Now, one of the poems inside my 8th book is called He Forgave Me. And it's a poem about forgiveness, because losing my son, I was angry and I was mad. And I was angry at the young man that took my son's life. But God reminded me that He forgave me. Therefore, I got to forgive this young man. And I'm going to share that poem.
Share, please.
My tears provide the ink for this poem, and my pain provided the words I write. Young man, why did you stop my son's heartbeat when you wasn't the one that gave him life? I have struggled with this for months. Why was my family chosen for this task? Man said never to question the Lord, but God said, if it's the truth you seek, then ask. I come as your humble servant, from the dust of the earth, breathing the breath that you gave me, to forgive all trespassers that trespass upon me, was my promise to my father the day he forgave me. I'm tempted by anger, my Lord. Years back, I could have murdered this young man with no hesitation, but that was before I accepted God's grace and mercy to be the voice and face of inspiration. Father, you knew this day would come. When I reached this chapter in the book of life, if it is written I shall suffer like the Son of God, then who am I to question your sacrifice? I stand humble like your servant Job, on the love of the one that made me. Forgive them, Father, for they know not, cried Jesus, and for that same compassion he forgave me. I will go to my son one day, but he will not return to me. Forever absent from the body, but in my heart you shall forever be. Through teary eyes I wrote this poem, asking God to guide my shaking hand. Every word represent my faith in you, Lord, but not my faith in man. The hardest thing I ever had to do is, the one thing I believe can now save me, and that is forgiving the young man that took my son's life, because when I needed forgiveness, God forgave me.
Oh, man, that's tough. Oh, gosh. Tell us, I know your 7th and 8th books, where can folks find these?
Amazon.com.
Amazon?
Or they can inbox me on Facebook, or they can email me at marshallpope@bellsouth.net, or call me, 256-493-7804. If you're close by, I don't mind meeting you, bringing you a copy of the book. Very inspirational. You'll love it.
All right, Marshall Pope, everybody, we appreciate you joining us. Again, look for his stuff on Amazon, and very powerful. We thank you for being here with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.